All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Sport webinar. Today's date is Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2019, and this is a Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Deep Retraces, but when? And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should ever be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, let's go ahead and get started. Bear with me one second. I will show a screen. And what we're going to do right off the bat, we're going to talk about just a couple of particular type of trades, but I'm going to go over some of the others also. And I went ahead and dummied up this little chart right here. And this is a real chart. It just doesn't have the data showing on the screen at all, but it's still there. Okay, so you know what we're going to talk about first off, since this is a short chart, which I think everybody can see, that we're going to talk about short trades first, and then if it happens to change direction, we'll talk about the other direction. Okay, let's see, can you do those boxes when you check out where the instructions going? I'm not following that, Lewis. Do those boxes. See if you can make that a little clearer. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. Okay, be happy to answer it though. All right, does everybody see my chart here? Now, what you're looking for, let me just tell you one thing, that if you're going to trade and make money trading, you know, you've got to wait for the retrace trade, or you've got to jump in a trade and don't let it go against you. That's kind of the rule of thumb that I go by. Will I miss a 100-tick trade drop down? Well, not normally, unless I'm trading something else, because, you know, you don't have to be foolish to the point you can't get some of the trade, but you know, you got to always be willing to realize that you're more than likely going to get a retrace at some time. Okay, so we're not going to really talk about minimum criteria trades tonight, but the minimum criteria trade for a short, I think everybody knows, is between line 2 and 3, and you have to break stealth also. So we won't talk about those as much. This is the trade I'm going to talk about tonight, is the mid-band type trades that are right in this sweet spot right here, deeper bar probes and phantoms. Oh yeah, I'll talk about some of that, Lewis. Yeah, well, just remind me here in just a little bit. Okay, so for this one, short, deeper retrace trades in a mid-band area, short phantom trades in the phantom area are lines 6 to 7. I think everybody knows that. It's been to our webinars. And keep in mind that, you know, when you draw these, you know, and it's stair-stepping down, you're going to get them in different places as you go down. Now, what I did here is I just drew them as big as the boxes would go. There's other trades in here that you could draw little boxes, see if it would have come back to it. But you're going to notice that when they go to deeper retrace trades, is going to be more when they flatline. It's going to be more when they flatline. And you'll find that more and more. Now, it's going to, as a rule, be in this little area right here. You know, if you get a trend change, you get a thrust down, you get any kind of retrace, you're going to be in this little area right here for a trade. So we're going to talk about mid-band trades tonight, and we're going to talk about phantoms and deep probes. Okay. Now, does everybody see so far what I'm talking about when I talk about deeper trades? You know, deeper trades on a short will always be above mid-band. A deeper trade than that will be always above like line 5, you know, in the line 5 to 6 area. And then your phantom trades will be line 6 to 7. So when we say phantom trade in the room, we're looking for this trade that at least goes into this 6 to 7 area on a short. And we're looking for the deeper probes that go into this area here. Okay, the deep bar probes. Those will usually be blue bars on a red background. And then these will be more than likely yellow bars or even red bars if they don't happen to come above mid-band. Okay, and that's not the algorithm on it, but it works out that way quite a bit. Okay, so always keep in your mind that, when you get a thrust, you're looking for some type of a retrace. Okay, so let's just see real quick, just for the fun of it. I'm going to draw the normal template on this and see where the trades actually were. Hope it doesn't mess up my drawing I did on this chart so beautifully, and it didn't. All right. Now we drew on this chart. Where did it ever come into these areas? Ever come into these areas? Ever come into this area? Now it came into what we call the minimum criteria. So you might have gotten a little scalp here, but isn't that shallow midband that we're looking for? When it comes up into this line 3 to line 4 and rolls over, that would be a trade, wouldn't it? See how you can see that? And by the way, our little indicator will actually flash on that bar, I think. Let me look at it. Midband short. That bar may not flash because it didn't close above it. It needs to close above line 3. So anyway, you could still box this in. Everybody knows that, right? Okay. Now, you'll notice also, now look here, this for instance is a little trade that's set up in this area right here. Okay. Now, how would you take this trade if you saw this happening in real time and this came in here and you boxed it in? Could you then, if it comes back above midband, take your trade off the table and stay with it only if it goes your way? So for instance, you're in it and guess what? You might be out of that trade. What if this isn't going to stay going down? That was a pretty good retrace. Could they actually take this thing up? And the answer is they probably could. Okay, so anytime you take a trade, for instance, if you took this trade here, I'd probably put my stop just above the swing to the left, which would be right above here. Always look to the left to trade the right, and see how that was a lower high. So, and that wouldn't be much of a stop if you just simply put your stop right across that area right there. See how it never took it out? I mean, in hindsight, it's easy to look at a chart, but we call these all the time. Yeah, you can put a pretty small stop, because anytime you're doing retrace trades, you're wanting the rollover to happen on a short and vice versa on a long. Okay. Now, let's look at this chart. We've already got these drawn, so everybody knows where they're at on a short, and it would be a little different on a long. It would be phantom down here, minimum criteria way up here, and that type of thing, right? And we'll draw those in just a minute. Okay, so now always when you're looking at charts, make sure that you also know if they decide to do something that you're going to know that they're changing directions also. Okay, because I draw on my charts always, and if I see like a lightning 3 to give an example, okay, and they happen to take that out and come back and kiss midband or something, or maybe even phantom, then you're looking for that kind of trade. Okay, so always remember, they don't stay short forever and they don't stay long forever. So if you get a nice thrust, retrace, and a thrust, you might be through. We like to get 1, 2, 3. Okay, and see, that one did happen to break up a little bit. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were trading this, let's get rid of all this stuff on it. We don't really need it anymore. If you were trading this and you saw this happen in real time, all right, you had a little phantom trade, see there? Now, what if you took that at line 6 and only took the coin at the midband? Well, you just scalped a trade, but you got to be willing to take it. And let's say if you boxed it, for instance, like so, and you got filled on that bar, you don't let it go back in that box. Now, we already know this actually took it out, didn't it? But was that actually a profitable trade for a moment? And it was. Okay, so now if you see now that you get a green background, what you want to do is you want to draw on your charts again, and we talk about kiss trades all the time. All right, I'd be looking for this little trade right off the bat if it would thrust up and pull back and kiss that line. Okay, but we're going to talk about midband type trades. So let's see if we can actually get a trade set up. And keep in mind, midband trades, if you get a green background, this to me is still a midband. Okay, now it's a little riskier midband, but that is still a midband, and we teach that particular trade all the time. Okay, So you can, for instance, if you break above a swing and you pull back in the mid-band and you want to take a trade like that, you're welcome to do it, because we take these trades all the time where they'll thrust up, kiss a phantom, come back to mid-band, box it in, and take a long. Okay. Now, could you also have even shorted this line 7 though? Okay, because this is a rose-colored mid-band, and to me that's a little iffy because you went to a green background. But if you did do it, I'd short line 7. I mean, I wouldn't have given a second. If it hit line 7 and that bar rolled over, I'd short it if I wanted that particular trade. Okay, but keep in mind when you get a green background, they're liable to change. Let's see, can you take a phantom short when the mid-band is yellow? Louis, on your question, just the same as you can take, you're talking about a phantom short when the mid-band is yellow. I wouldn't advise it, but I mean, you can take any trade you want as far as that goes, because keep in mind, there's 4 trends on your chart. So, we're actually looking at a little bit larger trends to get these background changes, mid-bands and all that. But, if you break, for instance, a lightning 1 and you want to short that thing, you certainly can. If you get like a 1, 2, 3 and it breaks below the little swing and you want to short it, put your stop at the swing, you can definitely do that if you want. Okay, but now let's talk about this little trade here. Notice that if we're looking for like a mid-band trade, we need a thrust. Okay, we got us a little thrust, right? All right, so you can clearly see that we pull back into support. All right, and it bounced right off our line right there. Now that is actually a little bit of a mid-band trade, but I like it when it comes deeper like this. This is my favorite mid-band trade right down in here. Especially if you get a phantom and they don't go ahead and take out the lows and everything, and then they kind of bounce on you, you can actually take that trade. Okay, but let's look and see what actually sets up here. All right, this is what we've got right now. Let's say that you got up in the middle of the night, because this is definitely the middle of the night, and let's draw some areas that we want to take this trade. Y'all want to? We'll see if we can take a trade. All right, so we're talking about not minimum criteria tonight. We're going to talk about mid-band. This area right here. This area right here. And if it goes deeper, you'd be talking about this area here to this area down here even. And somebody says, well, wait a minute, that's like, a huge area. But what do we wait for, anybody? We wait for the trade to come to us. So what does the trade got to do to get us into it? It's got to bounce when it's on a long, right? Okay, so let's see if we can get a little trade. Now, I'm not going to put Object Trader on just yet. What we're going to do is we're going to just watch this and see. Okay, you can't go lower than this right off the bat simply because that's a swing, okay? All right, let's see if we can get something. All right, there's a little mid-band trade, isn't there? Is this a little mid-band trade right here? Anybody? All right, let's box it in. All right, and we're looking for longs, right? Okay, so let's just see if this gets us some coin. We're boxed in. We're in the trade if you're on a touch type trader. If you're waiting for the close, you might not be in this yet. So touch type traders are in. Don't let it go back in the box. See what it does. So have you felt any heat yet? All right, wouldn't you say you probably got a scalp by now? Touch type traders, you probably got a little scalp by now. So don't let it go back below the blue line. Why this candle, Gene? Simply because you're boxing in. See, this was actually coming, and keep in mind we're talking about mid-band type trades too. Okay, so you scalp this one, and if it comes back below the blue line, you're out. And I'd be out because it took out your cost. If you got in on that bar, you'd pretty much want to put your cost at that bar. And that's fine. That is actually a profitable trade, a mid-band trade. Okay, now since this hasn't gone up here to take out this top, we're concerned about that because you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high. And if they take out this low, then we're liable to get one more like this. Let's just draw them ahead of time so we can see what we can get. Okay, now does this mean that we're shorting this yet though? No. No, because what we'd have to get this shorted would be to break down below like a support area, turn the background red, and then kiss. So let's see if we can get a trade. Okay, we did get a scalp. Now notice that you didn't have to stay in this trade. Now you could still be in it, but you're already giving up money on your original trade. And if you want to make money doing this, it's best to go ahead, just in case they're not deciding to go on up, to go ahead and get out of the trade. Okay? Because what I'm going to teach tonight is how to see these trades like this. This is actually a perfect mid-band trade. Okay? Is it going to work out though? Well, it gave you a scalp and then it took me out. Okay, so we're not in the trade anymore. All right, let's see if we can get something else. We'll fast forward this a little bit and see where it goes. Anybody see a box you could draw? That is a phantom trade, by the way. First time into phantom after a trend change. If that bar closes up, I'm in. I'm in. Everybody see that? That's a phantom trade, just exactly like we call in the room. Let's see, perfect. Yeah, perfect setup. Don't like sideways mid-band green. Mindy, on your question, or your asking there, basically this changed to this color, so that was a phantom. But see, even before that happened, let me pause this just a second. Let's go back and let's watch it. All right. Right now, see, it's bouncing off this support area right here. Okay. Could you box it right there? And the answer is yes. I like to look at resistance. So just so I don't get wicked into a trade, I will box it something like this. Resistance, like that. And then if it breaks above that, I'll take it. Okay, because it might not get to phantom. It may bounce off that support. Okay, but then if it goes lower, then you've got a rebox. Okay, so then you rebox it. That's resistance again, right? So if it breaks it, you're in. See how easy that is to do? Okay, now could this have been a trend change instead of a phantom? Yes, but keep in mind that if you've traded phantoms the way I've taught them for years now, this is about an 80 to 85% probability trade to work out. And anytime I can get 80 to 85%, I don't care about the 15 that don't work out, because I'm going to take a tight stop. Let's just take this a step further, and let's say that you got in here, all right, and you got your little box drawn. Let me get rid of all these boxes. We'll just redraw this. Let's draw our box again. Like even so, if you want to wait for it to take out resistance, now I like it when it goes down below line 2 and back above line 2. I will take that trade right there. Okay, but I would put a tight stop on it. You know, more than likely, as a rule on that, I don't like them to go into the shadowed area. So I'd probably put a stop right in there until it actually decides to very possibly tick up and see if we can get, you know, a decent trade. Okay, everybody see that? So let's go over the anatomy of this trade again. This is going to stop you from making a lot of mistakes on trading mid bands. For one thing, I like an ABC to begin with. Okay, but you don't always get that. So you pretty much have to trust mid band trades, and if they go your way and then they cease going your way, then get out. You know, would this have been, well, with gold, to give an example, 2 contracts, let's say you got filled just above the box. Let's say you got filled at 34.50 and it went up as high as 35.40. So that's 9 ticks. That's a $180 trade before it comes back against you. So could you still keep a $100 bill of it? Probably. Okay. But don't just, go in this trade and go, well, you know what? It's going against me. So I'm holding 4 contracts, and then it goes against you and you go, uh-oh, well, I'm at break even, but that's all right. I've still got 4 contracts. And then you go like this and you go, uh-oh, now I'm down, $400 because I got 4 contracts on. And then you go even lower and you go, oh my gosh, I'm down $700. See what I mean? Don't do that, because it may sound great to get a trade that's 4 contracts that goes your way, but if you do 4 contracts and you hold it, for deeper retrace, like you're thinking, well, for sure it'll hold this phantom. What if it didn't? What if it just went bam? And gold, when it breaks the support area, it can do it very quickly too. Okay. Everybody see what I'm talking about here? Explain why you drew the box there. What did you see? You're talking about this box, Gene, or this box? Well, this box I would be drawing like this with that 1, 2, 3. Oh, the first box? This is actually what we call a mid-band trade. Let me show you. The little indicator will even light up. See a little indicator telling me, way you're getting a mid-band trade. Now you'll notice with 4 range bars that a lot of times they'll just go like a bar up, a bar down, a bar up, and see, that's a really nice tight consolidation channel right there. So I would take that in a heartbeat. Now, did it work out? Well, yeah, it actually did, but it didn't keep you into a gusto trade. See what I mean? But just think about this. What if a person did, let's say that you took this trade 3 contracts and then you're in it and you don't let it go against you at all. You say, wow, I'm up $200. I'm taking all but 1 off. And then that bar goes down and you're out of the others. You still save $200 and you never felt a tick of heat. Okay? Because most times when they do a thrust, a retrace, and they don't take out these highs, they're going to do an A, B, C. And that's actually, in my opinion, more like a Gartley, which is, Gartley's actually, a normal ABC will be like A, B, and then C will either match the bottom and just barely take it out by a tick, like so. That would be a normal ABC even right there. See that little candle right there? A lot of times let's do it right like that. Just a second. Like that. That is an ABC. See how it took out that low just a little bit? And then if the next bar goes up, you box it in. But in this case, it didn't go up. It went down. Then that bar went up. Okay, everybody see? You box it, and then it goes down lower, and you keep boxing it. And it goes down lower, and you keep boxing it, and pretty soon you're in the trade. Okay? Now that trade's working out, and that's a phantom trade. This is the trade that I want everybody to understand tonight, that mid-band trades, if they don't work out, then you're more than likely going to get the phantom. Okay? And then look at your retracement on it too. This was a nice thrust up. That's a 61% retracement. That's a 50% retracement. Okay? And a lot of times what the market does, they'll thrust up, they'll check a 50, they'll go, okay, let's see if we can go up. Nope, can't go up, so they take it back down to where you got in, then they check the 61. And as a rule, if they check a thrust retrace at 61, they'll go. Okay, because a 61% on a nice move like this, say this is about 50 ticks, that's going to be 25 of it, and that's going to be closer to 30 something of it. Okay, and if you want, you can always put our auto fibs on your chart. I've trained my eye to where I can see these quite a bit. I could have told you that was a 61 without looking at it, because I've just seen so many of them. But you want to draw on the chart, you might want to. Okay, let's see, just a second. See if anybody's got another question here. Oh, wait, this is recorded anyway, Gene, so there's no problem with it at all. Okay, you'll get to see the whole thing. All right. So what I'm teaching so far is mid-band trade, phantom trade. Okay. Those are the type of trades that you want to really train your mind to see. That's a mid-band trade in my opinion, although it was a very shallow one. Would I take that trade if I saw it happening? Well, I would have had this drawn on my chart at the time. So I would have said, you know what, if I get anything under that and it rolls, I'm going to take it. Remember what we did in oil? That same type of trade. You know, if they don't take out that swing, see like that right in here, and you get a lower high than that, they'll probably take it down some more. And they did. Okay. Now they finally took it down a lot, didn't they? So watch for that trade. That's a sweet trade to watch for. All right. But when you change trends, realize that once you take out Lightning 3, you know, when they did here, they're pretty much heading up, and you can get these sweet little retracement trades. And you could have gotten this trade here, you could have gotten this trade here, and you could have gotten this trade here. Who can figure all this out except a magician, Denise? Well, the thing is on this, that if you learn these particular type of trades that we teach, you don't have to be a magician at it at all. Because I can promise you this, I've showed my top step in the room many times, and I'll be more than happy to show it again tonight if you want to see it. But these type of trades that we teach, they're real. Okay? And keep in mind that if you box this in right here, that's still a trade. I'm not saying that, well, you know, this one didn't work because it only gave you 7 or 8 ticks, because that is a trade that worked. There's a lot of traders that just love a trade like that. $200 bill, boom, they're happy. Okay, what about this one? Well, this is a phantom trade. And keep in mind that a phantom trade, just like I was showing over here, remember we were saying that phantom trades are way up here? Well, you notice it never came up there. But this is the area that you look for phantom trades on shorts, only when the background, the background will be like a pink color instead of this red, and it never got to that. Okay. Now it did here. That's a phantom trade. You know, could a person have taken that? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You still could, because that is a phantom trade, and there's a lot of people that just won't let it go against them. Let's see. And just need to be patient, really, and teach yourself to see particular types of trades. You know, for instance, on this right here, didn't they actually check a thrust retrace 50% and then a 61? You know, that's what they do a lot. If you check your fibs, you'll see that time and time again. So let's just say we got in this trade down here. This is a phantom trade. So let's say we took it. Let's see if it gave us a good trade. You want to? Let's just see. Because by the way, I don't trade at 1:30 in the morning, so this isn't my trade. I did take some gold trades this morning. Let's see if we can get something on this. All right, you've already got a scalp, by the way. Could you actually, if you had like 2 contracts, go ahead and take one off? Well, I wouldn't until the bar closed down, and in this case, I'd probably take one off right there. Okay, simply because you got a nice, beautiful scalp. Now I'd probably take my other one off if they turn this red. What's your power meter? If they turn that red, I might go ahead and take everything off. And if they don't, hey, it's a good trade. Still good so far. There you got a red power meter on power meter 2. Let's see if we get 1-on-1. You're out. So how was that trade right there? Let's say that you got in at 33.50. You took out some coin right here on this bar, like line 6. So you had 33.50 to, well, let's say, even on this bar, let's just give it just to here, 35.30. So that's 18 ticks, right? Is that what that is? No, yeah, it's 18 ticks, isn't it? All right. So, and then you got out when it came down and took this other out at about line 6. So let's say that you got 36 ticks, 2 contracts, that's $360 trade. That's not too shabby. Okay, and we have some indicators that'll get you out earlier too. Notice that double top. We'll call those in the room too when we see a double top. Okay, now do you have to hold this thing, all the way like to mid band when you were already up here at this area here? No, no, you don't. So now you're looking for what kind of trade again? You're looking for a retracement trade. So let's see what we can get. Let's check our fibs first. Let's check our fibs. All right, 50% is right here. Midband is right here. So what do y'all think? What says the team? 38% might be a good area too. Oh, let's put our predictors on. Predictor said that you should have taken the trade right across the top of that predictor. So you could have one trade. We just missed it, but that's okay. Missed it by a tick, so I might not have taken it. But let's see if we can get a deeper retracement at all. Unless this thing just blows up with us. Let's see what it does. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Now what's it doing right now? All right, let's redraw our fib. Because obviously it didn't retrace at the time, so we're going to redraw our fib, right? So that's a 50% retracement on that huge move right there. That's a mid-band trade. So what do we do with that trade? Anybody? Box it in, right? How do you box that in? Anybody? Well, always look to the left to trade the right. We know that our 50% is right here, right? So it's trying to bounce. Let's diagnose the chart a little bit. You've got a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. So that's like an ABC. This should hold on any kind of pullback if they're going to head up, right? So they're kissing it. So what would you do with this trade? Well, you got resistance right here, thrust, retrace, thrust. So there's resistance right there. To the left, you could box it just like that. And if it goes lower, guess what? We'll move our box. Let's see what it does. Going a little bit lower. I'm in. Everybody see how I did that? This is a beautiful way to trade. And keep in mind that, okay, right now, if you did a couple of contracts, you could literally be holding on to your runner, okay? And if you wanted to, you could go ahead and put your stop just right inside the blue box and see if you could get a gusto trade. But always keep in mind, if they zigzag against you, you can always use your power meter. Let me just draw lightning, and we'll draw it so you see it in real time. That's the Alt key. Let me get up here. That'll be fine. You're going to draw for me? There you go. Oh, that was straight down. That's why. All right, let's just see what it does. Stair-stepping up, 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 and you're out. Everybody see that? Not too shabby of a way to do this, is it? Okay? That's how you can do this literally all the time. Okay? Watch for mid-band type trade. Watch for Fibonacci's, I think, are pretty important. I just gauge them in my head most times, but in the room, I draw them quite a bit too. You'll see my lines on the charts as we trade. Okay? And wouldn't that have been a juicy trade? I mean, and that's 3 o'clock in the morning. So keep in mind that most traders aren't up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But let's just go to where we opened the room up and let's see if we can get a trade. I'm going to fast forward this to when we open the room. So just bear with it a few minutes. We're not going to take a trade. We're just going to go 500 times. We're going to go to 7:30-ish first. That's about the time that I'm starting to get charts ready in the room. Just let it do its thing. And let's see if we can get something. And should have probably just moved it. Okay? Because like I said, this time of night, there's not really that much going on. And I don't even trade this time of night. I trade actually around 5 to 5:30 in the morning, Central Time. I open the room at 7:55 and I call trades then. And I can tell you that something that I could show that actually happened today is a gold trade that I called in the room live, and it was up about 60 ticks. And that's not too bad. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll let this stop here. Yeah, Gene says I was there. Yeah, but I don't blame anybody for doubting something. Obviously, that's not a problem. Because we've been around 10 years, and I can tell you this: we know how to call some good trades. So let's just see if somebody could actually pick out the trade on this chart. Okay, so let's draw on our chart. Let's let it go ahead and stop here just a second. There we go. We should be able to stop it now. Okay, this is not even when the room was open yet, right here. All right, we don't open the room until 7:55. All right, but if you were trading this, what do you see on the chart? All right, let's draw some lines. We had a thrust, retrace, thrust, so I draw a line. All right, it came really, really close to this right here, right? So you have a high, you have a low, you have a higher high. All right, so they're either going to do a mid-band trade, or they're going to do a deeper retracement trade, or possibly a phantom. But guess what? Right now they're stair-stepping downward, and we want them to do what? To stair-step back up. And let's just see if we can't do that in real time according to this chart. I'll fast forward it just a little bit and see if you can pick out the trade. Now, just like what I taught, does anybody see resistance on this side? I would box it in like so. Are we in the trade yet? No, we're not in the trade yet. All right, so let's see if we box it any lower or if we break out. And just keep boxing. That's what a person just has to do. You just got to keep boxing. The beauty of our system is you can keep boxing the trade and get some really good trades. All right, you got resistance right there at 42. Right? So pretty much has to go above that. It didn't do it, so we're not in the trade yet. See, I drew my resistance on my chart. Little micro resistance. Still not in it. Boxed in. Still not in it. And by the way, this is getting close to where we opened the room. So we'll speed it up just a bit more. What about that? What kind of trade is this right here that I just got through teaching? That's a line 1 phantom trade. Okay, line 1 phantom trade. Let's just put Object Trader on for the fun of it and do a replay on it and do maximum of 3, box it in, and see if we can't get a trade. Because we use what we call a region. All right, so we're going to draw a region, and we'll look to the left to trade the right. We've got resistance right there. All right, so my box is pretty good, right? I might even stretch it a little bit just in case. That way I don't get wicked into it. All right, but I'm normally in this trade, so I would probably be in 1 already because I saw it hit line 1. I put my stop at line 0. Okay, and then I turn this on, and if it breaks up, I'll get in more. And by the way, this will actually fire that automatically if it takes out the top of that box. And I like to do a touch +2 myself, like that. Yeah, there you go. Robert K says, I got your gold trade this morning. 2 contracts from 1540.50, made $550 and closed it. And by the way, I showed this morning. I got this trade at 1540.10. Okay. Yeah, we are definitely the real deal. We can get trades in that room like you wouldn't believe, and without a lot of heat too. Now, when would I go ahead and raise my stop? Well, see that swing right there? I'd go ahead and raise my stop now. All right, and I'd probably take some coin if it kissed midband. So we'll sell one of them if it does. That's good enough. See it kiss midband. All right, and then we write our trade. Let's see, so sometimes when there is a blue midband, sometimes approximate take a short. How do you tell? Well, keep in mind at the open of the market, we actually go either direction if you're really breaking like support, to give an example. But this is one of my favorite trades. I love a phantom trade. You know, what if somebody, instead of getting it way down here where I called it this morning, and I called this, by the way, and you got in way up here instead? You know, can you see, you know, for instance, let's say that you're a mid-band trader only. Could you see right now where you could possibly take this trade? Well, I called it in the room. Do you see a area of support that they have not checked yet? Let's just pretend you weren't in the trade at all. They broke out. They're going to come back and check it. And I drew the line in the room this morning, and they nailed that trade. And this is not anything after the fact, because that line was drawn in the room in real time. And so you just got yourself some contract, right? And you're in nicely with a trade. Okay? That's the way to trade this system. And I can promise you this, that if a person will watch for this trade right here on all 4 charts, you'll probably get some monster nice trades. Now let's look this over and see what kind of a retracement was that, Gary? It was a thrust, it was a retrace. That looks like a 61 to me. Let's see if it was. Just a tad under 61, tad under, but it was a phantom. So if somebody were to take this trade like was called in the room this morning, you could actually be so nicely green you wouldn't even believe it. And this is not a happenstance thing that just, you know, happens occasionally with us. We do this every single day of our lives. We're constantly getting these great trades like this. And the way we do it is we watch phantom trades. We watch midband trades. Let's look at an oil chart and let's see. I'm going to pause this for just a second, and I'm going to show you some oil trades that were also called in the room this morning. And I want to see if you can pick out the same trades. And by the way, let's just look at the chart first off, and let's see if we can't see some trades. All right, so you've got a thrust down retrace break. There's resistance right there on oil. All right, if it comes up anywhere in there and kisses that, that could be a good short trade. Or you could draw a trend line on it. Let's say you were up at 214 in the night. All right, draw your trend line on it. It's just breaking it right now. I can see it. See it right there? Could you take that trade? There you go. Just got you a trade. All right, let's look for another one. Watch for a midband type trade. Any type of good retracement into midbands. By the way, you're just got stopped out of that trade that I just called there. So let's see if we can get a midband trade. There we go. Is that a midband trade? Anybody? All right, look to the left to trade the right, and let's see if it will actually work. All right, you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, lower low. So A, B, C. You got a resistance right there. You're kissing midband right now. You could box this trade in just like we teach. And you just got you a trade. See how it works? It works continually. That is a midband trade that we teach all the time. And if you take these trades, these phantom trades, these midband trades, all these different trades that we teach, you're going to find that you're going to do so well in your trading it'll be unreal. The dotted line is actually the swing. That's this little, oh, it's the middle of the predictor. Let me take the predictor off and you won't see that. That's just the middle of a swing inside that predictor. Okay, so let's say you got that trade right then, all right? All right, let's say you didn't get up at 4:30, but maybe you got up at what, 5 o'clock instead? Let's see if we can get another trade. All right, you missed that one. Let's just pretend you didn't get it. You didn't get this one I called. So let's watch and see if we can get a mid-band trade. We're going to draw our little sweet spot ahead of time, so we know we're looking for this area right here, and we're looking for this area right here. That's our mid-band sweet spots. Now it's down here, right? Because see, it's stair stepping, so your trade's down here, about like that. And there was your trade. See it? It just work. This works. If anybody's got anything better than what we've shown here and can do, you know, now will I say that you could do 100% literally every single day? I have people in this room that do it all the time. I showed you mine. Show me yours. That sounded weird. Okay, but I did show mine, right? There you go. Aaron says, ha, ha, ha. Well, it's true. I showed you mine. Let's see yours. So here's a trade. Here's a trade. All right. Let's see if there's some more. Let's say you missed that one. All right. What will it take to change the trend on this chart? Anybody? Well, if you look at Lightning 3, they're going to have to bust above this, come back and kiss, and take off to change trends. So until they do, I'm still looking for shorts. So let's see if we can get something. Where's our sweet spot? Anybody? Anybody? Mid-band? Let's draw our little boxes again. Sweet spot. Sweet spot. That's mid-band. Now, if we go higher like Phantom, I'll draw that also. But we're going to take what? The rollover, right? We're going to take the rollover. All right, so let's see if we can get it. There's mid-band trade. Mid-band trade. Ding, 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 ding. So let's look to the left to trade the right. Got a resistance area right here. Little swing. Got a resistance area right here. That's already been checked. See it? It's already been checked. So I look to the left to trade the right. There's another swing right there that has not been checked. Right there. So we got two swings to check. Let's see if it gets one of them. And it rolled over right out of my box. So you want to count this coin, by the way? Let's say you took this trade here and you got out when it took out, I don't know, line 2. How about that? So you're out. It didn't take out the swing, so I wouldn't have been out. But it did take out the swing over here, so I would be out. See, even though this was line 2, it didn't take out the swing to the left. This came down, came up, double bottomed, came up a little bit higher, double bottomed again. So if it takes out this area, I'd be out of the trade. And then you could be back in at what? Mid-band. Draw on your charts, you're going to see this continually. Okay, what about that one? Anybody? That's a mid-band trade, isn't it? Did it kiss resistance? I'd take it. If I got up at 6:53 in the morning and I saw that trade on my chart, I'd draw 2 lines on my chart like this. I'd say, okay, you're going to come into this little sweet spot here, and if you roll out of it, I'm taking you. All right? And if you go against me, I'm going to get out. So how did that trade do? Perfect. I mean, to me, it doesn't get any better than this. You can, now keep in mind, if you're going to do mid-band trades, you want to make sure that your mid-band is stair-stepping. You know, when it's flatlining even like this, you got to be a little bit more careful. That flatline for only about 30 minutes or so. So that's not too bad. It's when they flatline and they change this midband to like rose color that you got to watch it. Then guess what type of trade you're looking for? Phantom or deep bar probe. So let's say you didn't take anything. Let's see if you can get another one. Let's draw on our chart. Got resistance right there. Got resistance right there. You rolled over right there. Not looking for that trade. We're not talking about minimum criteria tonight. We're talking about midbands. There's a midband trade. What does everybody think? You want to try it? Let's just, for the fun of it, let's just take it right there at 53.80, and let's do 3 contracts for a $300 bill. Just 300. We don't care if it goes down. Let's just see if we can get 10 ticks. Not in yet. Now you box it even higher. You could actually, a lot of times what I do on this, especially if they kiss midband like this, you can go ahead and take it right at midband when that bar closes. But let's just be a little bit more fair about it. We'll go about, well, when it takes out this support right here, see it right here to the left? Let's see if we can get it. We're in, all right? Stops at midband. We're going to try to get 10 ticks. Got 10 ticks. That's a $300 bill, by the way. So if you think about these trades, let's say you just scalp $300, $300, $300, $300, $300. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's $1,500 starting trading at 4 o'clock in the morning till 7:45. Okay? And you're going to see this time and time again. You want to see if you can pick out another one? Let's just see. Okay, we took out the bottom, right? We took out the bottom of the deal. Not a bad little trade, right? But see, we took $300, but what did we leave on the table? Anybody? Well, guess what you left on the table? Because I called this trade in the room this morning. That's what you left on the table. So see why scalping, you know, granted, you can get a $300 bill like this, but what about how much would that be? And that trade was called live in the room too. Totally called live. What about this trade? You know, this is stair stepping up. You box it in, it goes above midband. You box it, you draw a trend line on your chart. Could you take that trade? Sorry about that. In, trend line break. There's a $300 trade. Stop out if you go above midband. And you're out. See it right there? Was that a decent trade? Let's see if we can get anything else. Now look to the left. If you don't take out the bottom, by the way. Now if they respect this right here, I'd say we're still short. Okay, but if they close above that, I would definitely be out of that trade. And usually when I see this, I'm out quicker simply because you don't want to give it all back to them. Let's see what it did. Still okay. Still okay. I don't think so now. You're starting to get higher lows. So you're out. See there? You're definitely out. All right. You ready to see if you can get another trade though? Let's draw on our chart. Got a swing, thrust, retrace, ABC. All right. You got a trade here that didn't take out the low. So guess what? When they don't take out the low, they're going to take out this high. All right. What kind of trade is that? It's not a phantom. What type of trade did I teach earlier? It's a deep bar probe. Could you take this trade? Well, let's just see. Let's say you just got up right here. You just, you know, you're lazy. You know, you're a millennial and mom hadn't fixed your breakfast yet. All right, but it rolls over. You take the trade. You're in the trade, right? Broke the trend line. It works. I mean, it really works. And if you learn to do this, you can literally turn your trading into, you know, a lot. And like I said, when you're trading, you want to see if we can take this little trade here to give an example. This is another deep bar probe. You want to try it? Let's box it in like that. Let's just see if we can get it. Yep, in. There's $300 for 3 contracts. There's a stop on that little puppy right across there. See the swing? And you're out. Is that pretty easy to do, anybody? All right. What did I talk about? If it takes out Lightning 3, what's it doing right now? Anybody? Well, it's a phantom. You're right about that. But it taking out Lightning 3, is it a possibility this is a trend change? Well, I would draw a line right there where support is, and it looks like they've already nailed it. So I'd probably be long on that, but you could do it right here if it bounces. There it is. It's in. How about that one? How did we know that? Because it took out Lightning 3. It came back and kissed it. That's a trade that I taught 2 weeks ago, kiss trades. And believe me, if you can learn, you know, I learned in the school of hard knocks. I mean, I traded stocks for years. I traded when they had DTN, you know, where you had to practically call your broker. I traded with slow internet connections. You know, I traded when I first met Charles, and we traded a system that we traded 10-minute and 3-minute and 5-minute charts, and that was the biggest joke on the planet. Think you could get it again, anybody? Let's take it if it breaks that box, just for the fun of it. It's a mid-band trade. Let's go for 10 ticks. You're in. You got 10 ticks. And you'll be surprised if you can learn to see these trades on the chart and put nice tight stops on your trades and draw lines on your charts. This is not hokey stuff. I could show, for instance, where my personal Top Step account in 18 days, you know, I pulled in $7,000, and, you know, they write those checks. They're beautiful. My wife just qualified for hers. She had to make $18,000 first to qualify for that. But see, we've got an account to begin with. I've got my own personal account. We've got a Top Step account each. I've got a 1-up account. My son's got a Top Step account that he just got to the funded stage today. He's over 3,000 on his second evaluation, so he'll get his funding. And he's going to do the pro route. And anybody wants to know about that, I'll be happy to talk about it. Okay? So, anybody have any questions on this? If you draw on your charts and you take the trades that are taught and you don't, you know, for instance, is this going to just go up like crazy? We don't know. Nobody knows yet. Well, let's look at our fib number. Let's see if they do what they a lot of times do. There's a 50% retracement. Anybody see that? What if they decide to come to a phantom if they don't take out that top? Could we be ready for a trade as Viper traders? Well, if they don't take out that top, we might. Let's see if they take out the top. Nope, not yet. They take out that support and you'd be heading down some. All right, there you go. Let's see. Is this a trend change yet, anybody? Nope, box it in. You're in a long trade. Everybody see that? Yellow midband. Put your stop just under there. This works, I'm here to tell you. And notice this was after we closed the room, even right here. But, you know, what did you look for? An ABC. What did it do? It came down into phantom area, sweet spot, phantom area. It did change the background green, pardon me, red. But when it does that, I box them. Why is it not a trend change, Chuck? Because what you'd need, let me show you exactly what you'd need for this to be a trend change, which didn't happen. Let's get rid of everything on the chart. What does it take to make a trend change on this chart? Well, we're looking at Lightning 3, so we'll draw our line. It has to take out this Lightning 3 right across here, and it has to take it out, come back and kiss it, and roll. So it took it out but it didn't roll. Now, if you were a gutsy trader and you saw this happen and you took that trade right at the line, you might have gotten a quick scalp. Okay, because that did kiss resistance and try to roll. Okay, but always watch that midband too, because as long as that midband is actually a color of yellow, green, or blue, you're really looking more for the longs. Okay, now we're going to come and do this tomorrow morning, by the way, and I'll be up in the room bright and early at 7:55, and we will call some great trades, because you can definitely trade like this every single day of your life. All right, and you can check this chart time and time again, and I'll guarantee you, you're going to find some great trades. We'll just do one more before we wrap. Let's say you're not in a trade yet, and we're going to draw some lines on the chart. Look left to trade the right. All right, you really don't want to go much lower than this right here, because you'd be changing trends. So I draw a line. So let's see if we can get in a little sweet spot. We're going to say, okay, we've got support right here. So this is a little sweet spot for me. This is a little sweet spot for me. And this is even a little sweet spot for me. But I'm going to have to be convinced of it heading one way or the other before I take it. All right, stair stepping, ABC. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to box it. All right, so we're going to box. Look to the left, trade the right. There's resistance right there. So I'm going to box it like that. I see a wick there, so I'm going to include the wick. That would be a long. And then let's see if we can get any deeper at all, or if we're going to get a break. Going a little bit deeper. Maybe. Not 2 ticks yet above my box. Yeah, you could be in that one. I'd be careful. If it come back in it, I'd get out of it, because this is still looking like it's stair stepping down to me. But lo and behold, it actually fired. You're in the trade. Let's see if you can get a scalp. Scalp would be right up here. And you got it. Okay? Like I say, pretty cool way to trade. And if you add the predictors, you're going to find out that you had a trade down there to begin with. And let's look and see if it gets another one. Let's watch for a green predictor. There's one. Could you box that in? Absolutely, you could box that in. Like I say, there's trades all over this thing. You just got to find them. And keep in mind that in that room this morning, there were 100% trade calls. I don't remember a single trade that went against us. All right, thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed this tonight. Always wait for the retrace on the trade. If you miss a thrust, wait for the pullback. Draw on your charts, lightning threes. Draw around these mid bands, and you're going to find the trade. Okay? And if they go against you, don't let them take, like, you know, if you do 3 contracts, to give an example, you know, you're not going to really want to go 10 ticks against yourself, because then you're going to have to make up $300. You know, and if you feel iffy about a trade, draw more of the lightning 3 areas, see, like I did on that blue line, and take the trade with 1 contract until you see it thrust and pull back, and then you box it. You might get a good run. All right. I hope this helped everybody. Thank you very much for coming. And any naysayers on trial, just take a shot at this. I promise you, if you will give it a shot, it works. And again, these trades were called in the room live this morning. This trade was called on oil. I actually opened the room at 7:55. We actually had this trade boxed in right here. And if you just took that trade alone, that was, what was that? 80 ticks? That's an $800 trade, by the way, with 1 contract. What if you did 3? That's a $2,400 trade. Okay. All right. And of course, you've changed trends now. So what type of trades are you looking for? You're looking for longs. And if this comes back again, guess what? You're looking for longs again. There's a predictor. There's mid-band. There's support. There's support looking to the left to trade the right. Let's see if we can get another trade. And then I'm done. There, you're getting there. You're getting there. There you go. See, it bounced right off the predictor. Doesn't get much easier if you just watch the charts. Just got to watch the charts. Now, I've got this going 500 times, so we couldn't possibly take the trade. But look where predictor predicted it. All right. Can I talk about Top Step, Gene? Absolutely. What do you want to know? I'll go ahead and stop the recording just real quick, and we can talk about them. So I'll stop the recording. This is the end of the webinar. Thanks, everybody, for coming, but I will talk about it.